Now, where are you from?
I'm from a city called Aliquippa. You know, it's like on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, probably like 10 miles away from Pittsburgh. You know, Aliquippa. It's in Beaver County. A little small city, man, but I mean, we make a lot of noise, man. Like, if you look it up, Aliquippa, we got a lot of athletes like Darrell Reeves, Ty Law, Mike Dicker, Tony Dorsett. Like, we got a lot of athletes that came from Aliquippa. So, you know, you should look it up.
Now, being in the Quip, what was that like for you growing up in that town? Paint the picture for us.
It's funny as you called it the Quip because a lot of people from like around the way call it the Quip, but we just be laughing because we call it Quip, but everybody say the Quip. But I mean, you know, life growing up in Aliquippa is like it's a small city. Everybody know everybody, so a lot of people is family and related. But I mean, it's like a typical city. We kind of small, but we got a big name, for real. I mean, it's hard though, and I'll equip it like, cause you gotta be accountable of your actions, cause like our people got these high standards, so we just strive to try to be great, you know, as good as possible.
Was it rough for you growing up? Would you consider it rough?
I mean, like for real, her mom had a job, her grandma had a job, like people in my family had jobs, like we ain't have it bad, but it was times that we struggled. But you know, mom, Dukes, dad, like grandma, they always made sure you know that things got took care of. I mean, a couple nights, you know, stuff was bad, but I mean, we still here, man, and it just taught you a lesson, for real, for real.
What was maybe one of your roughest moments
I'd probably say one of my
growing up?
roughest moments would probably being incarcerated on a case that somebody who I thought was a friend did some sucker stuff, but you know we ain't gonna get into all that. But I was actually incarcerated on a homicide. Thank God, you know I ended up beating that joint, coming home. You know, gotta thank God first, and that was probably you know one of the hardest parts for real. And besides the fact, like I had a lot of friends that I lost to gun violence, like in like 2009, 2010, I probably lost like 6 friends within a 3 month status. Like this month, I lose a friend. Then the next 2 months, I lose two more friends. So I was going through a lot, man. Like that's why I put that in my music. So when you hear my music, I talk about the pain, I talk about the struggle. You know where I'm from. Like I put it all in there.
So all that happened in the Quip, all those deaths
Yep,
of gun
and
violence.
quit. Yep, Aliquippa. Yeah.
Now, growing up, what type of student were you in school?
I'd probably say, man, when I went to school, I mean, I really got pretty good grades. It was like my mouth or playing around in class that really got me in trouble when I went to school. I mean, I had alright grades. I probably like a B student. No,
Graduated high school?
I actually dropped out of high school in 11th grade.
Did you ever go back to get your GED or anything?
When I was actually incarcerated, I ended up getting my GED. When I was down on my case, I ended up getting my GED. So yeah, I got my GED.
County jail?
Yeah, because I was just in the county. I was fighting my case,
Right.
so I was going to see like, dang, like if I would have lost my case, I'd be out the way right now. Like, will none of this be possible?
How long did you have to do in the county?
I was in the county for, I think like 12 months. Yeah, like a year.
A year.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening to that case? Did the case get dropped or?
No, I actually had a jury trial, and the jury found me not guilty of all charges.
Oh, so it went all the way.
Yeah, went all the way to the trial, man.
Did they, were you offered a plea deal? Were you?
When I first really caught the case, they was throwing crazy numbers at me, and you know, I'm young, fighting this case. I got my brother, I got my mom. They telling me like it's gonna be alright. Like I got a lawyer. So I mean, who just fought the case? You know, I put all my faith in God the whole time, and I knew like I just ain't say nothing, just kept my mouth closed and just let God work. And thankful to God, I'm here today talking to y'all.
I see. How long did that trial take?
My first trial, I had a hung jury because one of the cops who was on the case was trying to say some wild stuff, and my lawyer picked it up. So the first trial that we actually had, it was a hung jury. Then I came back around on the second trial, and that's when I ended up beating it.
So they tried you again?
Yeah, they tried me twice.
Now, even though you got tried twice, that whole span was a year in its entirety?
It was a year span. I think I got booked, it was like September, and I ended up came home around October, so it was almost a year that I was down.
And what were you facing if they would have found you guilty? What would have been the sentence?
I mean, had the first plea, like I said, like they was talking football numbers, like they was trying to throw me 25 to 50, like stuff like that, 25 to life, like trying to railroad me, man. Like at Pennsylvania, it's a Commonwealth state, so there's a lot of people that's down right now that ain't never coming home. Like it's crazy.
And what was the actual charge?
I got charged with homicide, criminal homicide, and conspiracy to commit homicide.
When we're talking homicide, is there a certain degree? Is it like murder to the first, second, third?
It was just first degree murder, basically.
I see. I got you. Now, when they found you not guilty, what was your immediate reaction?
Man, when they found me not guilty, I was just like, I just had all these emotions just come at the same time, because when you fighting for your life and it's really you and your lawyer right there, and y'all standing up, everybody in the courtroom stand up, and everybody just waiting to hear that verdict. Like I just been through so much, like it was a long year. So when I heard it, not guilty, man, I was like, dang, like in my heart, I'm like, man, God no, man. So in my heart, I'm like, I'll be straight, but you still don't know, because that's a scary situation. Like when you face that situation. So when I first heard it, man, I was just happy, man. Like my mom was there, my whole family was there in the courtroom. They all crying. We were just happy, man. It was a good day, man. I'm just blessed for that day.
Now, when you got the hung jury the first time, did you think it was over? Did your lawyer think it was over? Did they think it was going to get tried again, or?
I mean, we went to the hung jury. We were just basically like, we gonna just gotta wait, cause you basically have to wait. As you get a hung jury, you gotta wait. I think it's like 30 days or 60 days before as you go back to trial. So we waited, picked another jury, and then we started the other trial.
So with a hung jury, it's not like a situation where they might say, oh, we're just going to forget the case. It's a hung jury. It's a situation where they have to find out a verdict?
A hung jury is basically, well, actually, in my own case, it was a mistrial. So it really, like, I wasn't no hung jury. It was a mistrial because an officer who was on the case said something that he couldn't really say. So that's really why it was a mistrial.
But some mistrials, right? Can they just cancel everything after a mistrial, or do cases always end up trying to try it again after a mistrial?
I mean, I really ain't never heard of no homicide case just getting through out after no mistrial. I never really heard of it, so I mean, I don't know for real.
Okay, I was just curious. Now, when they tried you again for the second time, what was your lawyer's outlook? Did he think it was a pretty much open and shut case, that you were going to be not guilty, or did he feel like there could be a chance?
My lawyer, he was confident. Like he remained confident, like through the whole time. Like he was real confident. You know, he told me you're gonna be all right. I know you. I know your family. Like you're gonna be all right. I'm gonna get you out of this situation.
Was it expensive? After everything was over, the attorney fees,
yeah, man,
that sort of thing?
Yeah, it was like, I think altogether we ended up paying him like, $25,000. We gave him $25,000 altogether.
Best $25,000 you ever spent?
Gotta thank God, man. Gotta thank God.
Okay, now you get your GED while you're locked up. Okay. Now, after that, do you continue to just do the music thing and go right into music? Do you stay in the streets at that time? Or do you actually try to pursue your education for a higher education? How does that work?
I mean, when I came home, I was really trying to uplift myself and my career and be like a better father to my kids, because like I missed out a whole year of their life. So I was basically just trying to uplift myself and my spirit.